Right then, we're on our way to Valley Lake again, I know, but when you ain't got a lot of time, that's a nice little run. You can have a nice cup of tea at the end. I'm just going to mention a few things, a little story I suppose. I first started legally riding motorbikes and what have you at the age of 16. So on the eve of my 16th birthday, 1974, I had a brand spanking new Puck or Pooch M50 Sport delivered, and the following day was my first day of legal freedom, I suppose, where I could get out, go where I want on my very own little motorbike, well, moped. It was in the days of 70's, Fantics, Gileras, Hondas, all of the sports mopeds, early 70's, and because a few of my mates had 70's, I decided I want something different, and I got the Puck M50 Sport, bright red, a lovely little thing. You could get 50, 55 out of it on the flat. We used to have a lot of races, obviously, and for the last few months of school I used to go on it. It was about an 8-mile ride to school, and lots of races were had on the way to school and the way back from school. It was just great fun. Then in the, what was it, the January of 76, I took my motorbike test. I borrowed my mate's Kawasaki Samurai 250 twin 2-stroke to take my test on. I was living on the Essex-Suffolk border back in them days, so I had to go to Bury St Edmunds to take my test. Turned up at the test centre. Chap meets me with his clipboard. Out he comes, and he says, right, I want you to ride down this road, turn right, go down that road, get to the roundabout, turn right, come back and stop next to me. Righto. So off I went, and of course in them days when I got to the roundabout, or any right hand or left hand turning, I had to use hand signals, not indicators. When I was slowing down, I had to flap my hand up and down. So anyway, I negotiated that part, got back to him, and he said, right, I want you to go down here, down there, down here, down, and when you get back to me, I shall step out into the road, and I want you to stop whilst keeping control of your machine. So off I went, round here, down there, back there, and up to him. He stepped out. I made sure I was only doing about 20 miles an hour. Anchors on, stopped. I then pulled up to him after I'd stopped, and he said, okay, yeah, that's fine, blah de blah, we'll just go back to the test centre. Back to the test centre we went. He asked me 3 questions on the highway code, and he said, well done, you've passed. So that was that. That was me motorbike test done, January 76. Then I waited till May. I saved up a few quid, got to May, and I bought a BSA 650 A10 Golden Flash. That was it. But it didn't have any wiring on it because it had been used as a field bike, so I had to rewire it and then get it MOT'd. Did all that, splendid. So I was now riding around. I went from a 50cc moped to a 650 BSA. It wasn't actually that daunting really, because although 650, it weren't that quick, to be honest. I had mates on little Suzuki 125s and that could come past me quite comfortably. Suzuki GT 250s and Kawasaki's, they'd just blast past me in a cloud of blue smoke from their 2-stroke engines. But I liked it. Anyway, I only had that for about 3 or 4 months. Had a race with a guy on a Norton Commando and blew my engine up. We got to where we decided to meet, and I'd already felt something hot on my leg. And anyway, when we got there, I looked down and I had oil all the way down my right leg from the knee downwards. The bike was making a horrible noise, and that was the end of that. It was dead. So, but in the meantime, I'd passed my car test in the June of '76. So I thought, right, I'll sell this and get a little car for the time being. So I sold that BSA to a friend for 120 quid. I bought it for 80 quid. And in fact, I bought it for 80 quid and my insurance was exactly 80 quid. Which seemed a hell of a lot of money at the time. That was well over a month's wages. And then, well, then I stuck with cars for a while. Then I bought a Yamaha DT125 in about '78. It was great for going down through the woods as well as commuting to and from work. And then I had another Suzuki GT250, a Honda CX500 in the '80s. But then that was my motorcycling life finished for a long time. So from about '84, '85, I didn't have a bike then till about 3 years ago. And I was looking on eBay at motorbikes, and I spotted a Royal Enfield 500 that I quite liked the look of. So I just bought it, put my bid in and won it. And I had that for, well, I don't know, 6 months or so. Did a few bits and bobs to it, but it was just, it just weren't going to be quick enough. It vibrated like hell. So I thought, well, I'd always fancied back in the '70s a Triumph Bonneville. So I bought a Triumph Bonneville a couple of years ago, just over 2 years ago. A 61 plate, I think it was, Bonneville SE, black. Did quite a bit to it. I put Tours pipes on it, single seat. I took off the oxygen sensors, the air injection system, the more open air filter, the usual kind of things, and then had it remapped to suit all the changes, and it went like buggery. It was so much different to a standard bike. That was great, but as I've said before, it just didn't suit me. The Bonneville, it'd give me a bad back, bad shoulders. I kept getting cramp in my crutch, and after sitting on my mate's Speedmaster that's in front of me now, I thought, yeah, that feels better. Lower seat, higher bars. That'd be much more like what I need. So I went out and had a look, and then I bought this Triumph America, brand new, last March. So I've had it just over a year, and I don't get the back aches, I don't get the shoulder aches, I don't get the crutch ache, and I just feel that it just suits me more. So anyway, that's a little bit of an insight of my motorcycling history since 1974. That was a crazy ride, that was, wasn't it?